Students, this is a video on assignment U1A06C version 2. Now these questions are authored by me. They are all very, very similar to the types of examples that you've encountered in another version of this assignment. However, the algebra is just slightly more intense, okay, where you will need to know how to factor quadratic equations and how to work with quadratic equations. That's really all the difference there is, okay? So let's take a look. All right, so I have this situation where I have L2 and L3 are parallel cut by a transversal L1, and then the problem says to show that angle B is equal to 132 by first solving for x. So let's do that. I immediately notice here that this angle here is corresponding to this guy, which means these two angles over here are going to be supplementary because they are a linear pair. So therefore I can say that x squared minus x plus 2 times 12 plus x will therefore equal to 180. And this is a quadratic equation. So how do we work a quadratic equation? We got to bring everything over to one side. So x squared minus x plus 24 plus 2x is equal to 180. Combine everything together, I end up with x squared plus x and minus 156 is equal to 0. Alright, I get to this stage and now I'm asked to try and factor this, right? So two numbers that multiply to 156 but add to positive 1. I believe that would be 12 and 13. So x plus 13, x minus 12. And that would leave me with x is equal to 12 or negative 13. Now in order for this to work, because here we're measuring the actual value of the angle there, we don't have a negative angle because there's no real direction here. We're not accounting for any direction. So x can only be positive. This is not a vector. So therefore this here must equal to 48. Because 12 plus 12 is 24, times 2 is 48. And being that b is supplementary to 48, b must therefore equal to 132, as this problem suggested. Let's take a look at the next problem. So very similar, okay? Again, I have two lines parallel cut by a transversal, and it says to solve for x to then show that b is equal to 59. So I know that a and x squared are vertical angles, so therefore a must equal to x squared. And I know that a and 11x are corresponding, so therefore x squared will equal to 11x. And if I work with quadratic by bringing everything over to one side, I can then factor out a common factor of x, leaving me with x times x minus 11 is equal to 0. So therefore the only two answers are x is equal to 0 or 11. But in order for this to work, once again, if x was equal to 0, then we do not have any parallel lines here. So the only way that this will work is if x is equal to 11. And if x is equal to 11, then a will equal to 121, because 11 squared is 121. And since a and b are supplementary, b therefore must equal to 59, which indeed it is, because 59 plus 21 is 180. All right, moving on. So it says here to show that all the angles are 90 degrees by first solving for x. Okay, so in order for this to work, in order for all of this to work, right, these two angles are corresponding. So therefore I can say 8x plus 50 is equal to 4x squared minus 10. Combining all, bringing all the terms to one side, I end up with 4x squared minus 8x plus, or actually minus 60 is equal to 0. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 60 but then add to negative 8. Or actually, no, I'm sorry, I went a little ahead of myself. I noticed that there's a common factor of 4 everywhere. So what am I going to do? I'm going to divide everything by 4. And what I'm going to be left with is x squared minus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. And here, okay, I am going to factor. So what two numbers multiply to negative 15 but then add to negative 2? Well, the combination of number is x minus 5 and x plus 3 is equal to 0. So therefore, x will equal to 5 or negative 3. So we want to show that all the angles are equal to 90 degrees. So for what values of x would make that so? It would have to be x equal to 5. Because if x were to equal to negative 3, 8, so this guy right here, 8 times negative 3 plus 50 will not equal to 90, right? X has to equal to 5 in order for that to equal to 90. So if that is 90, therefore 4x squared minus 10 will also equal to 90, because 4 times 5 squared is 100. 100 minus 10 is, in fact, 90. All of these angles, therefore, must equal to 90, because we have vertical, corresponding, alternate interior. So yes, A, B, C, D, all the way up to F, E and F, all equal to 90 degrees. All right, moving on. Explain why does EFG add up to 180 degrees? These three angles here, even though they're not a pair, they are a trio, and these trios add up to 180 degrees because they are supplementary. They are a linear pair, or a linear trio in this case. So this is because of it being a linear pair, right? All these angles form a straight line, okay, are supplementary. I don't have enough room, so I'll just abbreviate SUPP, supplementary, okay? But, you know, when you show work, though, okay, make sure you write it all out, especially when it really counts, like on the regions. Please write out all your explanations. Do not abbreviate, because your abbreviations do not follow any kind of standard, okay? So just make sure that you make things as crystal clear as you can, especially to a rater. Anyway, and then it says to show why does angle BF and C add up to 180 degrees. So we're talking about these three angles here. Actually, if you notice, okay, this shape in here is in fact a triangle, right? Well, what this question is really asking you to do is to prove why is it that angle B, F, and C add up to 180 degrees? Why is it that a triangle adds up to 180 degrees? Well, the reason is, right, so if you notice right now, angle B and angle E should be the same or different. I'm sorry. Again, angle B and angle E, should they be the same or different? And in another color, angle C and angle G, should they be the same or different? They should absolutely be the same. And why is it that they're the same? Well, that's because angle B is equal to E and C is equal to G. It's because of alternate interior angles are congruent. These are alternate interior angles. Now this is vital to the next step. So check this out. If B is equal to E and C is equal to G, can I just make the substitution into the last step? The previous step, that is, right? So again, E plus F plus G is equal to 180. I'm going to replace E with B. I'm going to replace G with C. And there you go. This is the proof. This is because of substitution. Substitution of what? Of the previous two steps. This is the proof for why any triangle must add up to 180 degrees. This, to me, is super elegant. When I first saw this as a kid, my mind was blown away. I thought that was very, very beautiful and succinct. I hope that you guys are having a similar experience. All right, moving on. Question number 5. This guy right here. Slightly more challenging, but nothing that you guys can't handle, because I want to draw an auxiliary line, as the lesson has suggested before. And since this angle over here is A, therefore this must be A, and this angle is B, therefore this must be B. So I know that A plus B, therefore, must equal to 80 degrees. Okay? And since a plus b is equal to 80 degrees, I know that a plus x squared plus 5x is equal to 180 degrees because consecutive interior angles are supplementary. I also know that b plus x squared plus 3x will also equal to 180 degrees because for the same reason, that these are consecutive interior angles. I can therefore solve for a in terms of b. I know that a in terms of x. A is equal to 180 minus x squared minus 5x. I also know that b is equal to 180 minus x squared minus 3x. So knowing this fact, I can then make the following substitution. I can substitute what a is into here and what b is into that same equation there. So I can say 180 minus x squared minus 5x plus 180 minus x squared minus 3x is equal to 80 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to combine like terms wherever I see it, okay? So on the left-hand side, I see I have negative 2x squared, and then negative 8x, and plus 360 is equal to 80. I want to subtract 80 over to the other side. I end up with negative 2x squared minus 8x plus, what is that? That will be 280. I notice that this is all divisible by 2 or negative 2. And if I divide both sides by negative 2, I end up with x squared plus 4x minus 140. Now I need to consider two numbers that multiply to 140, negative 140, but then add to 4. And what would that be? I know 7 and 10. No, I'm sorry. 7 and 20 makes 140, but that doesn't add to 4. What combination of number? Oh, 14 and 10. X plus 14 and x minus 10. Right? So therefore, x will equal to 10 or negative 14. So it says here to show that x is equal to 10. Well, I therefore show that x is definitely equal to 10 in order for all this to work. All right, so moving on. Okay, so here in this case, very, very similar, okay? These angles over here are consecutive interior angles, therefore they are going to be supplementary. So therefore I can say 2x squared minus 10x plus 2x plus 26 is equal to 180 degrees. I can combine like terms. 2x squared minus 8x plus 26 is equal to 180. And then I can bring over to 180, and I get 2x squared minus 8x minus 154 is equal to 0. Divide everything by 2. I end up with x squared minus 4x minus, what is that? 154 divided by 2 is 77? Is that the case? Yes, it is. Okay. And I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 77 and add to 4. Negative 77 and add to negative 4. That would be 7 and 11. That would be x minus 11 and x plus 7 equal to 0. What would make x? X will have to equal to 11 or negative 7. Now what would work for, what number can this be in order for all of this to work? It even asks to show for us to show that x is equal to 11. So therefore, x must equal to 11. And will a equal to 48 as a result? So if x is equal to 11, then therefore this is equal to 22 plus 26, that would be 48. Therefore, this is equal to 132. So therefore, a is equal to 48. And 5x over here is equal to 55. And angle B here, okay, being that all the angles inside of a triangle must add up to 180, okay, as we had proven in the previous step. 55 plus 48, that's 90, I'm sorry, that's 103. 55, 48, that would be 103. 103 subtracted from 180, that would be 77. So actually, I made a mistake. Angle B is not 103. It should be 77. And then angle D is indeed 55 because they're corresponding. Angle C here should definitely be 125. That is absolutely right. And I figured everything out. Okay, so angle B here is definitely not 103. It should be 77. Okay. Okay, moving on. I see here these are vertical angles, so immediately I can say 2x squared is equal to 5x plus 42. 2x squared minus 5x minus 42 is equal to 0. To factor this, okay, I immediately know that 2x squared, there's only one way of getting that, and that is 2x and x. I need two numbers to multiply to negative 42, but then I need the combination in the middle to add up to negative 5. So that would be 7 and 6, dare I say? Yes, it is. 7 and 6, where this is minus and this is plus, because negative 12 plus 7 is indeed negative 5. So x is equal to negative 7/2 or positive 6. And the problem says here to show that x is equal to 6, and I definitely did show that. So once x is equal to 6, I can then figure out all this other stuff, that this angle over here, 3x plus 10, must be 28. And if a is equal to 28, then a is most definitely not 72. Oh boy, how embarrassing. So a is actually going to be 152. So a is 152. So if a is 152, then D, therefore, will also be 152. And B, oh, I'm sorry. So this guy over here, since x is equal to 6, that would be 72. This would be 72. 72, 28, that gives me 100. That means B would be 80. B does equal to 80. And since B is equal to 80, C would then definitely equal to 100. So that definitely works. And if B is equal to 80, that means F is equal to 80. Okay, and if this guy over here is 28, then that means angle E will also equal to 28, and that is absolutely right. And if angle E is equal to 28, then that's it. I've figured out everything. All right. Okay, next page. So it says here, explain why must A plus B equal to 90 degrees and why must C plus D equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so A plus B, so I know that these are parallel, and if they're parallel, that means B and C are the same. And if B and C are the same, it says show that A and B is equal to 90 degrees. If B and C are the same, then that means okay. So A plus C is equal to 90 degrees, right? Because all three angles in a triangle must add up to 180, right? So let me do that again. A plus C plus 90 is equal to 180. So if this is the case, then A plus C is equal to 90 degrees. Same thing I can say about B plus D plus 90. it should also equal to 180. So therefore b plus d is equal to 90 as well. But my goal is to show that a plus b is equal to 90 and c plus d is equal to 90. How can I do that? Well, I can do the following. I can then say, since b is equal to c, and since b is equal to c, right, I can then make the substitute. A plus b is equal to 90 degrees, right? B is equal to c because of alternate interior angles. I can then make that substitution into this guy and say that a plus b is equal to 90. And since a plus b is equal to 90, I can then, therefore, conclude similarly, c plus d is also equal to the 90. Okay? Because I can make a similar substitution to say, oh, b is equal to c. I'm going to replace b with c. So c plus d is equal to 90 degrees because of substitution. Okay, moving on. So I have, this looks a little